What should I do? How should I structure my day? Which company should I apply to? What industry should I work in? What job is right for me? Hey there, my name is Martin McGovern, founder and lead coach of Career Therapy, and I just finished up an Unstuck group coaching call from the Career Therapy Unstuck coaching program, and we had a really great conversation. We covered a lot of different areas around productivity, motivation, just really digging into who you are and what it is you want to be doing in your career. And there was one concept in particular that I wanted to share from that call and go into a little bit of detail on, because I think it's really interesting to think about this idea of just wanting someone to tell you what to do, wanting someone to give you the answer, right? We hear this all the time as coaches, right? What should I do? How should I structure my day? Which company should I apply to? What industry should I work in? What job is right for me, right? And there's really no lack of people on the internet that are willing to give you an answer to that, right? That's literally the backbone of marketing, right? What should I do for my health? Buy my program. Do this thing, right? What should I do for my job? You should enroll in cybersecurity. It's a hot new thing. Or you should be a web developer. They pay really well. What should I do? What should I eat, right? Eat the food that I made, right? It's whatever it is that the person wants to sell you that is the quote-unquote right answer. And that's why this sort of natural need we have to just want someone to give us an answer can really work against us in the job search, right? So if I were to get on a phone call with someone and they said, I'm really overwhelmed, there's so many different options of what I could do with my career, I don't know which way to go with it, and I just said, here's an answer, go do that, here's a job. I took your personality test, I pulled up LinkedIn, I found a job title, go apply to it, get that job, and that's what you do for the rest of your career, right? The problem with this mindset is, although it feels, first of all, it's natural, but just because it feels natural doesn't mean we should give into it, right? Because if we give into it and we just accept what someone else tells us, then we're not going to be as committed to that thing moving forward. We're not going to have as much confidence in that thing moving forward, because how can you trust that this other person has the right answer? No matter how smart or intelligent they seem, right? I could tell you what job you should do, but who am I to tell you what job to do? I'm just some jamoke, right? I'm just some dude, right? I don't have the answers, and no coaches have the answers, and no therapists have the answers, and no parents or friends or coworkers or managers or bosses have the answer for you. And even when you take that job and you do that thing that they told you to do, 6 months in, you'll get used to it and get bored with it, and you'll be like, well, should I be doing this? Should I be doing something else? How many of us have just let our careers be dictated by our parents or our degree or just whatever the first thing that was that came by? We just did that, right? Taking a moment to pause and asking yourself, does this align with my values? Does this align with my interests? Is this something that I feel good about, right? I remember when I first got into marketing, my first role in the marketing world. Great company, doing really cool things, a really solid job. I still have friends who still work at that company. But for me, it wasn't right, because I'm someone who's very anti going into debt. I think debt is a horrible thing, and it happened to be a credit card company, which is, as a marketer at a credit card company, kind of what I'm doing is just encouraging people to go into debt, right? And that also plays into this. What should I buy? Here's a card. Go buy whatever you want, right? As long as you pay us the interest. And it just never sat well with me. So over the years, I didn't realize why. I was like, why do I not like this? Why am I not fitting in? Why is this not working for me? Well, it was against my values. And so I had to sit down and say, what's more in line with my values? And that eventually led me into advertising, working on more consumer products rather than, financial products. That led me into teaching, which led me into coaching, which led me into all sorts of different interesting things. And I'm eventually going to become a therapist after I get my graduate degree. But all of these decisions only came from really sitting down and going, well, what is it that I don't want? And what is it that I do want? So if you don't know what you do want right now, start with what you don't want. I really don't want these things, and write them down. I don't want to work in spreadsheets. I don't want to be in sales. When you can clearly articulate the things you don't want, it gives you a lot of clues as to what you could want, right? And then rather than someone telling you what you should do, you can say, well, based on this list of things that I want, what jobs are close to that? And then you can take that list, pick a bunch of job titles that are similar to things on that list, go talk to people who are in those jobs and validate that. Because if you just Google, what does this job entail, you're going to get a whole bunch of weird answers, right? But if you go talk to a real person and say, what's your day actually like? What do you actually do in this role? Well, that will give you a lot more insight. You'll actually be able to get real world positives and negatives about the role rather than maybe just sales messaging from some website, right? So that's really what we want to do with this. We want to take the negatives and the positives and sort of anchor ourselves between the two of them. Here's what I absolutely don't want in my career. Here's what I absolutely would love in my career. And then find something that's as close to the I would love as we can so that we don't end up going back to our old job. Because that happens too, right? We go, I don't know what I want, so I guess I'll just go back to what I was doing before. And we don't want to go backwards. So we really need to stop asking people to give us the answer. And I know I'm giving you the answer to whether or not you should ask people to give you the answer. And I'm sure there's scenarios in which people have gotten advice of, you should do this, and it all worked out. I think, heck, Johnny Depp was told by Nicolas Cage, you should act. And hey, look, it all worked out. But he still wishes sometimes, according to interviews and stuff, that he was a musician and not an actor. But I digress. That's not really the point here. My point is, I want you to indulge in the things that you want rather than do the homework that other people assign to you. And I know I'm saying I want you to do this, which is a homework and it's an assignment. But I'm a coach. I don't know what to do, right? As a coach, what we do, as in this whole coaching therapy, all this different stuff, we're not giving you answers. We're giving you tools to figure out the answers on your own. We're putting pressure on you to come up with those answers rather than put them off forever. And we're encouraging you to make a decision for yourself so that other people don't decide for you. So one of the worst things you can do in your career is just let everyone else make your decisions, because they will. If you don't make a decision, your boss will make a decision, or someone else will make a decision, and they will be in control of your career. And then 30 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is, you're going to go, how did I get here? Oh, right, because this person told me to do it, and that person told me to do it, and I never stopped to ask what I want, right? Coaching helps you quiet the noise, and it challenges you to make a decision. And if you do that, you switch from this homework mindset to an indulging mindset. Indulge yourself in the things that you want in life. Make decisions, say, I want these things, and then indulge in them. Get curious about them. Chase after them. Meet people who do those things. Surround yourself with that stuff and find a way to keep moving in that direction, because you won't have the answer right away. And there might not even be a right answer, right? But there are better directions to go. There is another step that you can take. And that step will give you more information, which will help you make a better decision. The biggest issue is to make no decision at all. If you never make a decision, then I guess you can never fail. Or at least in the short term, you won't fail, right? In the long term, you'll probably look back and go, man, I really wish I made a decision. But if you switch from that to, I'm going to decide and then respond. Decide, get a result, and respond. And keep things moving forward. Indulge in your interests. Push into, lean into things that come naturally rather than trying to force yourself to do things that really don't come naturally. It brings you closer to who you are. It brings you closer to your natural interests, to things that naturally motivate you. I can't motivate you to do something you don't want to do. If you get audited, I can't motivate you to want to do the audit. That's going to be a, if you don't do it, you're in trouble kind of motivation. But hopefully for our careers, we can get to a place where it's motivated by something a bit more intrinsic, something a bit more us, something that feels a little bit better. And that's really my hope for you. So if you're struggling with that process, you can join the Career Therapy Unstuck Coaching Program at careertherapy.com. I won't give you the answer, but I'll put the pressure on you and ask the right questions and push you to make a decision so that your career can move in the direction you want it to move. And that's really the goal at the end of the day, for you to be in control and to be making clear decisions on where you want your life to go and where you want to take things next. Thanks for listening, and I guess like and subscribe and all that stuff, and I wish you all the best in your job search. Cheers.